Good morning. My name is Stormy Peters, and I'm VP of Technical Evangelism at the Cloud Foundry Foundation. Welcome to the third ever edition of Cloud Foundry Morning Edition. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever your time zone may be. So before we get started with what's happened in Cloud Foundry recently, I wanted to remind you of two things. One, the first ever Cloud Foundry doc sprint is coming up on September 30th. So if you are a technical writer, a developer, a user, or anyone interested in helping us with the getting started documentation or any other part of the Cloud Foundry documentation set, feel free to join us. You can RSVP by emailing me at stormy@cloudfoundry.org. Along the same note, if you are interested in going to Berlin or Shanghai to participate in the Cloud Foundry Summit, tomorrow is the last day to submit your paper for the Berlin Cloud Foundry Summit, which happens the first week of November. And then the Shanghai one is the first week of December, and you have a little bit more time to get your talk in for that. Along with events, the Dallas meetup, the Dallas Cloud Foundry meetup is tomorrow. So if you are in Texas or in the Dallas area, if you live there or visiting, feel free to join them. It's going to be around the Internet of Things. As for news of what's happened in the last week, I have really good news. CIO magazine came out with a list of the top 8 open source software foundations in the world, and Cloud Foundry Foundation made the list, and we're in really good company. The rest of the list is projects like the Apache Foundation, the Eclipse Foundation, Free Software Foundation, the Software Freedom Conservancy, which I'm a board member of. I think I said the Linux Foundation. Anyway, great list of foundations, and it was really great to see that Cloud Foundry, as a relatively newcomer to the world, made the list already. Other great news this week is IBM acquired StrongLoop, which is a Node.js project for managing REST APIs. And so that means we have more Node.js core developers as part of the Cloud Foundry community. So welcome to all of you if you're watching this. Other news kind of garnered from Twitter for the most part is was implied that the Mercedes, like the car Mercedes, the Mercedes Me app, they announced a new app at launch this week, and supposedly it runs on Cloud Foundry, so that's really awesome. If you have one of those cars and use the app, you are now using a Cloud Foundry app. Let's see what else. The Spring One conference happened in Washington, D.C., and there were a lot of Cloud Foundry members there, obviously. And there was also Cloud Foundry training that happened before the conference started. Sergi Almar taught that, and I believe he had about 70 people in the room. So that's 70 more people that know about Cloud Foundry. If you're interested in training, there is training at both of the summits, Cloud Foundry Summit Berlin and Cloud Foundry Summit Shanghai. A couple of our members are putting that together, so you can sign up for that when you register for the conference. So maybe that is a draw if you or someone you know is looking to learn more about Cloud Foundry before you start using it in your company, or maybe your company's about to and you want to learn more. Other news, someone asked when Diego would be generally available. So Diego is a sub-project of Cloud Foundry that it's going to replace like the Doplet, DEA, which always makes me think of the drug agency, but it really stands for Droplet Execution Agent. It also replaces like part of the health manager and some of the cloud controller. So that's the Diego project. It's being developed by a number of different companies that are all part of the Cloud Foundry ecosystem. So Pivotal, IBM, Cloud Credo, SAP are all working on it. Probably some others that I don't know about. And it's looking like it'll be in the generally available as part of the regular release within the next couple of weeks, according to James Bayer, one of the Pivotal product managers. So that's really good news. There's a lot of how-tos that came out this week. So there's a blog post on cloudfoundry.org about how to bill on Cloud Foundry. So if you write a Cloud Foundry application and you want to bill your users or they want to pay you for something, there's now events in Cloud Foundry that will help you do that. And there's a how-to with pointers to more documentation on the Cloud Foundry blog. If you want to run Docker images on Cloud Foundry, I know that's a popular project. There's also documentation that came out this week. If you can't find it, maybe I should attach these to the YouTube channel. But if you can't find it in the YouTube channel, or you're more than welcome to email me, stormy@cloudfoundry.org. There's also a video for a tutorial on Python and data in Cloud Foundry. IBM put out an app that does WebRTC audio transcription, so like using Twilio and Cloud Foundry. So a lot of really good how-tos and good tools for people developing apps. So take a look for those or follow them if you're interested in learning more. And then we had a couple good quotes, ones I like to see. So Badnima on Twitter posted that he or she heard somebody say that they saw Cloud Foundry update 200 production virtual machines in 2 hours, something that if they'd had to do it manually would have taken at least a week and would have been very error prone. So that was really awesome to hear. And we get a lot of those quotes of people that do things within minutes or hours on Cloud Foundry that would have taken them weeks. And that's really rewarding to the entire project to know that we're making an impact. And then the Cloud Foundry Dojo in Cambridge is about ready to open. If you go to Twitter, you can actually see pictures of them putting the furniture in the room. So for those of you that don't know what a dojo is kind of like a training center for Cloud Foundry. So Cloud Foundry is based on pair programming. So everything in Cloud Foundry has been developed with two people sitting together, and they talk through what the software looks like, and then they talk through the testing, how are we going to know if it does what it does, and then they write it all together, sitting together. And sometimes they're actually literally sitting together, and sometimes they're different places in the world, but they're actually working as a pair at the same time. And so that's a pair programming model. And so the dojos were created to help bring people up to speed in the project and provide them with people to pair with. So we have a number of dojos around the world, and people commit to go to them for usually 6 weeks. And you go there for 6 weeks, and you learn all about Cloud Foundry development. And you have a partner. Typically, you learn about a specific part of Cloud Foundry because Cloud Foundry is kind of huge. And at the end of that 6 weeks, you are a Cloud Foundry contributor, and you are now ready to pair with another developer and actually work on production code. So this new dojo is opening in Cambridge. The EMC group is sponsoring it, so it's really awesome. And then yeah, so that is the major news that I saw this week. There's a lot going on. If you have things that you want me to include in future Cloud Foundry Morning Editions, like if you have meetups or other things you want me to call out or talks that you've given, feel free to email me. Again, it's stormy@cloudfoundry.org. And don't forget to submit your talk for the Berlin and Shanghai summits. And if you want to help with the documentation, that would be really awesome. The reason we're focusing on getting started docs is because we believe most people who use Cloud Foundry start by downloading it and playing with it themselves, even if they decide to go with a provider later. So we want to make that process super easy. So if you know how to make that process super easy, please join us. Or if you've had trouble with that process and have great ideas for how to make it easier, please join us, and we'd love to help you implement that. So thank you for joining me. Again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and I will see you next week.